Make you feel it in your soul.
Got a body so sweet, when you're vibing with me. Let's go on a retreat, somewhere we can just keep the mood on repeat. We can do it low key, we ain't getting no sleep. Girl, we staying up, you whisper like a record, babe.
Play the intro. Right.
Make you feel it in your soul.
Got a body so sweet, when you're vibing with me. Let's go on a retreat, somewhere we can just keep the mood on repeat. We can do it low key, we ain't getting no sleep. Girl, we staying up, you whisper like a record, babe.
Good morning. I'm waiting on everybody else real quick. If they're interested. Hey, good morning. This gonna be quick, it won't be long. I know I told y'all I was gonna give y'all like a continuous update from Friday. I know there's supposed to be more happening today. Yes, they're still meeting up at the capitals in those states. They're still meeting up. Hey, they're still meeting up in the capital of those states to get everything fixed because, as you guys know, November is our primary. November is where we're voting for the governor, right? That is the biggest, one of the biggest ones. The other ones were big because it's Congress and, you know, for Congress and for primary, that's what it is, right? So it matters. Now, Georgia, I think I heard someone say May 29th and then November. So May 29th, y'all vote for y'all people to who's going to be what. That's Dr. Heavenly is for your districts in that area. And Dr. Heavenly is one of them, and she already has been chosen already. So it's other things you're voting for as well. And then November. November is where everybody in America stand up for who you don't want as your governor. And good morning. A lot of that will be happening in November. So that's why they're saying, hey, they're not doing mail-in votes anymore. Make sure, and we're going to get into why. Oh, we're going to get into why. Make sure your address updated, your voter's card registration updated. Make sure everything is updated because they're already trying to make it hard because they're losing. And that's the problem. Now, I want to show y'all something because they said the part out loud. Let me see if I have it. Baby, they said it out loud. And I was like, oh. Oh, so that's what we're saying? I'm not surprised. They were saying it out loud, and they had a conference in Alabama. Let me go to TikTok. And when you hear what was said, yeah. So, 2 days ago, the courts have denied the Republicans in the state of Alabama request to lift the stay. That would change the congressional maps to the 23 maps red. Now, I want to play, they say the quiet part out loud. Let me see if I can find that video while I'm looking for that, I want to play something that Ian has said. If you guys don't know, Ian is, why are they not showing? That's not him. Where he was having a conversation. Let me find it on my phone. I hate sometimes when it comes to, hey, long hair, don't care. and they were let me go to my phone because it don't show like I want it to, y'all. Let me see if I sent it to myself in my text messages, because I know I did. I gotta look for that. Let me go to Baller Alert. Black Memphis was deleted as well. And I want to show y'all, it's really sad. It really is. Your passports could get revoked. And if people owe child support, we know that was going to happen. Mortgage rules open doors for men. Let's see. You at. No, let me just play some regular videos, child. Hey, CC Life. Because I know I sent this to myself.
Full 5 miles to shake off the week. Just a quick update of where things stand right now. So we know Friday afternoon, HB1 and SB1, setting the special primary elections, were passed, sent over to the governor, which he immediately signed. Shortly thereafter, within hours, Alabama pressed to obviously go ahead and move based on that past signature, and the 3-judge federal court in Birmingham denied Alabama's request to lift the injunction. So the state of Alabama immediately appealed to the Supreme Court, asking them to stay the injunction, basically say that the injunction is not in effect and they can go ahead and proceed as the bills intended for them to have the special primaries. Justice Thomas, who handles emergency appeals, told the attorneys for the plaintiff's side, that's Milligan, that they needed to get a response to that motion in by Monday. So Monday afternoon, we should know more about where things stand. All right, that's all we got. All right, so just knocked out a nice little.
You can't hear what he's saying.
Two bills that can.
Oh, okay. Give us a minute. It comes in.
Well, I was not only disappointed, I was angry. I mean, there are so many. Alabama's ground zero for voting rights. So much blood, sweat, and tears was shed right here in this state. So many sacrifices. And basically, that decision said, we don't care. Doesn't matter. Yeah. But it was not surprising given what I've seen from this Supreme Court. Yeah, that was incredibly disappointing for the governor to do a flip.
I'm sorry, y'all. His name is Isaiah. Where the hell I get an Ian from? Hold on. I want y'all to watch this. Isaiah Martin. Please forgive me. I apologize for calling you Ian.
Flop the way she did, but she was getting a lot of pressure from people like Tommy Tuberville and Will Ainsworth and others. They're the ones leading the charge. It basically said, hey, we're the winners, you're the losers, and so let's just completely get rid of your voices in Congress. The Congress of the United States should reflect Alabama. Our state House and state Senate should reflect Alabama and the voters of Alabama. And they're essentially saying we don't represent people that didn't vote for us. We only represent a portion of Alabama. And
that's what they're saying. They're only representing a portion of Alabama. They're saying that even Louisiana saying it. So if you don't vote for them, if you don't vote for red, if you don't vote for what it is, that's what they're saying. A majority of Black people do not vote. Let me say this. They don't vote for red because most of the people that voted for red for them was, and he thought he won that. I'm going to tell you why. Because they wanted a check. When I continuously told everybody you're not getting a check, he's going to punish you because you got tired. You got that check and you went on and didn't keep your promise. Wanted a check. Let me tell you who else did it in Georgia and won the vote over Stacey Abrams, because he the one that gave out a check and he hasn't done a fucking thing in Georgia. We haven't even seen him now. And even if his last term, has he said anything in Georgia? Anybody in Georgia? Has Brian Kemp said a damn thing? No. Does he ever say anything? No. Has he came out, stood on the podium and talked to you? No. Any issues arise? No. Who's always doing it? The Georgia State Capitol. That's who talks. He barely want to talk to y'all. He barely want to interact with the people in Georgia. He barely does a damn thing. He doesn't do crap. But sit there and work behind the scenes and key and do the stuff he did. That's why Keisha Lance Bottoms was like, hey, he does this stuff. Exactly. Thank you. And I don't know why he banned phones in schools for. I don't understand that. That's crazy work. He don't do anything. When I first got, I said, he was the new governor. I said, okay, even when Keisha was in the seat, he gave her a hard time. And I remember I was like, I'm going to vote for Stacey. Stacey Abrams' policies was awesome. She had certain things that you could be like, okay, I can agree with that. Everybody was on her side. But let me tell you what happened. This motherfucker put money on the card for everybody, each dependent. Most women was like, I'm still not going to vote for him, but thank you very much. But guess who pushed these men to vote for him out there? And now you're fucked. Yes. A lot of people are voting for her for that district. Keisha Lance Bottoms is running for governor, from what I understand. So I feel like I would say this. I know a lot of people don't like her, but I would rather y'all have her than to have another Republican that don't give a fuck, because they're not going to give a fuck. They're not. I'm going to talk about that as well. I'm going to do a breakdown. I think I'm going to do it tomorrow. We'll talk about Georgia governor. We'll talk about Texas. We'll talk about Florida. I don't think people know who running for. That's crazy. People in Florida probably don't even know they have a runner for governor. Like, that is crazy work. That's crazy. I don't think they know, because from what I'm understood is, let me see who's running in Florida. And from what I'm hearing, DeSantis' wife is running. Yeah. Because this is his last term. And I'm going to talk about that too. Byron Daniels. Let me see. Who's Byron Daniels? I'm going to have to look that up. Him. I think Byron gonna lose anyway. That's why you don't see him trope for what's his name. We're gonna talk about that tomorrow. Yes, you can vote. Thank you. Listen, you guys, if you're in Georgia, you can vote early at the health department. Down in Atlanta, go vote. Go vote. Yep, because they have their phones. Absolutely, especially in Georgia. We're gonna talk about governors tomorrow. I'm gonna get a rundown list of who running. We know Byron, but he's against Joe. What's his name? We're gonna talk more about it, who he against, and we're gonna discuss, because Florida. Do not let Byron get in that seat. Do not. Let me tell you something. Byron is Byron is Trump's little coon handy boy. He's his little black handy boy. You know that character Samuel L. Jackson played in Django? He's him. Don't let him get it. Don't let him get it. Don't let him get it. It's a Gwinnett. Okay, it's a Gwinnett. I'm gonna get and tomorrow, you know what, while we talk about, let me finish playing this. And at the end, I'm gonna show some voting. You know what? We'll do it tomorrow. They give me time to look. I'm gonna look up voting locations. I know Georgia early vote. I'm finna see who got early voting, and I'm gonna write it down, and then we'll talk about it tomorrow, so you guys can know where to go in if you are in Georgia or any other state that does voting in May. And we're gonna go through that as well as who is running for governor. Because I know it's important. I know a lot of people like, I don't know where to vote. I don't know what to do. Let me tell you something. I don't know. The elderlies are going to want to vote. If you got a car and you know a neighbor, pick them up and take them. Pick them up and take them. Because they're trying to keep them from voting as well by snatching the mail in. Some of them don't have a ride. Some of them can't walk. Figure out what you got to do and take them up there. They got a wheelchair, pack the wheelchair and take them. Because I'm telling you, that's what they want to do.
That is really unfortunate. It is not the kind of candidate or the kind of governor I'm going to be. I'm going to represent everybody, even those that did not vote for me, that will not vote for me, but that's okay. We're all in this together.
So he's basically saying that. Now, I want y'all to hear saying something. Now, this is Isaiah, right? I love Isaiah. Y'all go check Isaiah Martin out. He is hilarious. I don't know why it took me down. Listen to what he says. Okay, hold on.
Of inflation for the rest of us to try and stimulate.
Okay, hold on. So he on the phone with a MAGA supporter Republican. This is hilarious. Listen.
Economy.
What are those three bills that caused inflation?
The ones we talked about, Inflation Reduction
You think
Act,
the Inflation Reduction Act caused inflation?
Absolutely.
Tell me the date.
I'm pretty
Tell
sure
me.
by
Me the
own-
date on the Inflation Reduction Act.
2022, August.
Give me the
16th.
exact date. Okay.
August 16th.
Now
Yeah.
tell me what happened to the inflation reduction or to inflation on August 16th, 2023.
It was like about 4.2%.
Okay, and what was it?
I don't know why you're getting so defensive, man.
And so what was it on August the 16th, 2022 for reference?
Probably around 8%.
So it was 8%, then it went to 4%. So that's less than half. Now, what was inflation on August the 16th, 2024?
2.9%.
So it went from
Which
8%.
tracks, by the
So
way.
it went from 8% to 4% to 2%. And your ass is sitting
and
up
you
on
think-
here
you think
to
it's
say
because
that the
of the-
Inflation
Wait,
Reduction
wait.
Act caused inflation. If that's not an example
You're
of one of the
attributing that to
most stupid
inflation?
things that I've ever heard in my life.
No, it's you have three bills that are causing massive inflation for the rest of us to try and stimulate the economy.
What are those three bills that caused inflation?
The ones we talked about, Inflation Reduction
You think the
Act,
Inflation Reduction Act caused inflation?
Now,
Absolutely.
he called him.
Tell me the
I'm
data.
pretty
Tell
sure-
me.
Hold on. Here it is.
Some of the things that I support Trump for in Executive Order 14187, we got rid of government funding for kids that were getting chemically castrated.
Can you give me an example of that?
Can I give you an example? Are you saying that it doesn't?
Now, that is crazy. And this is why I question that when he said that. I want an example too, because that's crazy. Let me explain something why I question that. Logical thinking, and why a lot of people say, I don't believe that. For you to come out here and say they're getting chemical castrated, they can do what they want to do because y'all listen to a rapper who got paid to tell y'all that. Yeah, I said it. Allegedly. I want to tell you something. What has anybody in this country done like that and want to lose, like I said before, want to lose their license? And why are this coming from the people who support him? They say that they don't have a problem. I'm going to say it again. They see nothing wrong with dating younger. That is a red flag. If I find it, they said, yeah, I don't see nothing wrong with dating younger. These are from the same people who don't mind having children as girlfriends in their teenage years. They don't see that while they're in their 20s and 30s. So why would you come out and say that? A lot of stuff I feel like is a cover up to justify what it really is. And that's just how I feel. It's like a justifying of I like them young, I prefer them young. That's a justifying thing to me. Because think about it, I've never heard that. When we talk about, like did one before a while back, we talked about the young girl in Florida, red state, by the way, who wanted an exchange that to become a girl. What Republican judge signed off on that? Okay, let's continue.
Exist.
I'm just asking you for an example.
So if he canceled the funding for it, that means that it was going on.
No, I'm just asking you for an example of the funding that was canceled. Can you give me one?
I just gave you the executive order.
No, I'm asking you for the thing that was canceled. What did he cancel specifically?
I just gave you the executive order. It goes into detail about what it's canceling.
If you're saying that all funding was canceled, then surely you would have maybe a place where this was being performed, or you can tell me an instance of this happening. That's all I'm asking for. I mean, I feel like this is pretty reasonable.
If you're insinuating that it doesn't happen or that it wasn't going on, I mean, I don't know if you live under a rock or that.
Why are you making assumptions? I'm just asking you for an example.
Why are you trying to lie your way out of this? Why don't you just confront this like a man?
I'm lying by asking you for an example. I never made a claim one way or another. I just asked you for an example.
And this is the main point of of why I brought this up. You started getting into the who, what, when, where, and why. So do you think that Trump signing this executive order banning government funding of children taking hormone blockers and all this, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
You're pivoting once again because you cannot answer the question. This is what I'm talking about again.
Oh man, dude, you're
when
so
I say
dishonest.
that these
hey,
guys
I'm getting off.
are
I'm getting off.
Of course you are. You're running like a dog.
Have a conversation.
You're running like a dog.
You're just dodging me this whole time.
This is what I'm talking about. Low IQ.
You won't even say if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
This is low IQ. And I'm going to ask him one last time.
You don't own Republicans, dude. You're such a softie.
An example of this actually happening. Can you give me one example? Going once, going twice, going 3 times, goodbye. This is what I'm talking about. Just low IQ.
Some of the things that I support Trump for in Executive Order 14187.
I can't take it. I can't take it. So then he said, my fellow Democrats, do not let Republican confusion get you feeling any type of way. Trump is the most unpopular president in history. That is true. That is true. He will lose the midterms because people are fed up that he destroyed the economy with his low IQ policies. I agree. No amount of map origami will change that. You can either go hide in a hole or check up on the ball or cook these, dude. I choose the latter. Our job is to go run and score and make November too big to rig. And I never much intended doing that. He said the Republicans will lose the midterms. He said that. He explains it right here. Yes, he has more patience than anybody. He's hilarious, but he's also honest. Now, he broke it down, right? And this is why everybody like, nah, go vote, because it's already broken down. So he says this. He said today's decision in Virginia was just a question about how much. I know math is hard for low IQ Republicans, but Trump lost 40 seats. That is true in his first term. And he's more unpopular today because he destroyed now. Where did I lose my section at? The economy. That is true. And I'm going to show y'all that. His tariffs, price-raising war, and endless corruption are getting cooked next year, whether they like it or not. Enjoy. That is true. The disapproval rate, I'm finna show y'all. CNN posted this. A lot of people didn't get it. He has a very high disapproval rate, and this is why he's trying to push his wife to the forefront, because she has a high disapproving rate as well. it has gotten up to 57% to 64%. Let me show you guys. Here it is. He's not lying. If you go look it up yourself, it's right here. He's not lying. As of May 11, 2026, Trump disapproval rating is historically high, with major polls showing it's consistently between 57% and 64%. Cited a 62% disapproval marking a high for his term, largely driven by the economic concerns and foreign policies. The YouGov 57%. Look how much it has dropped in approval. Real Clear is 56.3%. The Pew Research is 64%. Washington is 62%. He has dropped very low. It's the rising of gas prices over $4 a gallon. Concerns over cost of living having driven up negative sentiment. He has a high disapproval regarding the handling of the war. While support among him, Republicans remain high. His rating among Republicans, leading independent, has hit a new low of 50%, 56%, meaning majority of the Republicans will not be voting for him. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. And I hate to say it, and a lot of people can be upset about it, but that's the truth. It's a done thing. Like, it's over with.
The perfect lesson on why you should never put rules on yourself while your opponent does not. Back many years ago in the 2010s and even in the early 2020s, a lot of blue states went and put these things called independent redistricting commissions because, look, as Democrats and honestly as Americans, we're against the concept of gerrymandering. But red states never followed. The idea was that if the higher ground was taken, eventually the Republicans would come around and do the exact same thing. And they never did. What you have right now is a system in which blue states effectively have these commissions that handicap themselves and deny them the ability to redraw whenever they want. And red states basically do whatever they can to screw over Democratic seats no matter where they are. That's exactly what happened in Virginia. They have a commission in place, and now it's proving to be hard to get rid of it. So if you're asking yourself on why these red states are able to go past these new maps that basically draw out Democratic seats with really just a day or two notice, it's because they have no rules. Blue states have basically handicapped themselves, making it really difficult to go and change their own line, saying that it has to take place over many years, over a period of time, requiring multiple different votes by different legislatures. They've done a lot to screw themselves. So I say all that to say this: you cannot change the past, but you can change the future. And I think we all need to call on every blue state in America to start the work now to get rid of these commissions. You do not allow the Republicans to go play by a different set of rules than what you play by. I support banning gerrymandering nationwide, but until there's federal legislation, I need blue states to play by the same rules that Alabama, Louisiana, and all these states are playing. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to what I'm saying here. The Republicans are still going to lose midterms this year. They're still going to lose. Trump is the most unpopular president in the history of our country. He's destroyed the economy. He's got us in all these wars. People are sick of it. If you remember, when Trump was president the first time, he lost 40 seats, 40. And he's even more unpopular today. So the thing is that this decision in Virginia was really a question of how much he loses the midterms by. Because if he loses by 40 seats or if he loses by 30 seats, a loss is a loss. Tariffs, the corruption, the war machine, all that stuff is getting cooked whether they like it or not. So stay the course, make this November too big to rig, and celebrate their tears on election night. Today...
He not lying. I mean, that's the truth. Child. So let's pour one out today for former Republican Kentucky AG and Senate candidate Daniel Cameron for losing a Trump endorsement. He sure did. He lost one. He lost a Trump endorsement. If you remember, he became famous for refusing to investigate the unaliving Breonna Taylor, and other common sense things. Okay. Anyways, he did a lot of tail smooching for DJT and used his low income IQ to defend him everywhere. Well, that wasn't enough. And Daniel has now been sent to the wolves. Regulated to begging with a can outside of Mar-a-Lago, they can never learn. Yep.
In the latest episode of Stupid Ways Republicans Waste Your Money, it is now clear that they're about to spend.
Another thing, I'm going to have to find that video. It was a person in the tax place, and I'm going to go back to the redistricting. But sidebar, it's a little sidebar. We're going to go back to it. But people were saying that don't do a an exempt on your taxes, because your tax dollars are going to be paying for this Trump ballroom. Your tax dollars that they take out your check won't go to what it's supposed to go to. It's going to go to this ballroom.
And $1 billion of your money to build Trump's ballroom. Now, I'm sure upon seeing this, the Republicans are going to say, oh, I said that's fake news. That cannot possibly be true. Trump said that it would be privately funded. Well, I see there, fellas, you did not read the fine print. Because inside of the new Republican reconciliation budget bill, they have now outlined $1 billion of your money to go and rebuild this ballroom. Here it is. Here's the text. $1 billion remain available until September the 30th, 2029 for the purposes of security adjustments and upgrades, including within the perimeter fence of the White House compound to support enhancements to United States Secret Service related to the East Wing modernization project. Now, what is going on in the East Wing at the White House? Well, my friends, that would be the construction of Trump's ballroom. Isn't it insane that after Trump went and raised our prices and he said
we're fighting wars, we can't take care of daycare.
He said he's got no money for childcare, but he can literally spend $1 billion.
You heard that? Yeah. What did I say about childcare? What did I say when we talked about Miss Stain thing? Childcare ain't no childcare. I'm glad her son going to kindergarten. Ain't no childcare for that little mama. And little we don't know mama. Ain't no childcare. I said that. There is no child care. She is a fool to have a child. There is no child care. That is gone. Hello, he wants to build a ballroom. While y'all sitting over here tap dancing with her ass, she ain't got no child care. She gonna have to go ahead and pay that shit out of pocket. That's why she running up these checks as well. She's trying to pay it out of pocket. She's gonna have to. As soon as these children go to kindergarten, guess what's gonna happen? There is no child care. Y'all thought I was lying? There is no child care. When she go have that baby, she got to pay for that. That's why she ain't been really, if you want to think about it, it's probably why she ain't been to the doctor. She has to pay for it. It's a copay now. She got to pay for that shit. Hello? But I'm lying and hating. And he's saying it. The fuck?
On a ballroom
But I'm lying.
That 99.99999% of America will never step foot in the first place. He's got $1 billion to rename the Department of War, but no money for you. He's got $1 billion to go and retrofit a Qatari plane, but no money for you. He's got hundreds of millions of dollars to go and play radio ads all across this country of taxpayer funds for his own DHS, but no money for you. He's got $500 million a day for this blockade in Iran, $2 billion a day for the conflict in general. He's got $3.4 trillion to go give tax cuts to the richest people on earth, but he's got no money for you. Because those same Republicans that are letting him do money fans with the tax dollars that you send to the government couldn't care less about you. They're laughing at you because they will be drinking martinis and drinking scotch on your dime in this ballroom, and you will not. The Republican Party is for Trump, not for you. In the latest episode of Stupid Ways Republicans Waste Your Money, it is now clear that they're about to spend $1 billion of your
let's
money.
Go back to the redistricting situation. And a lot of them want to keep money on them. I need, what is that goddamn man name? Let me go to Tabitha. Because I told y'all got that old ass lady in South Carolina, which I'm just trying to figure out why y'all ain't let her go yet. Let me go on here. I know I sent this shit to myself. I don't know why. Yeah, she better get on her ones and twos. I keep saying it. Like, her mama voted that for her. Let me tell you something. This is why I say I think her mama hate her. Like, lady, I think her mama tired of her and can't stand her. It's shit like that. I'll be questioning. Like, damn, you really voted like that? That could harm me. Her mama probably want to say, I am tired. I am tired. Not only we know her mama is a racist, we know that, but she really sick of her ass. Let me play Gary Chambers what he said in Louisiana, and he went up to their to the Capitol in Louisiana. Let me share you what he just said. He had a whole conference with these people, and I want y'all to pay attention to how this man is talking and how they tried to talk to this man.
Mr. Chambers, you want to give your name and your organization?
Gary Chambers, representing myself.
Look at that old looking man.
I know how the political process works, so I know.
Gary Chambers at the top. He's talking. He's from New Orleans. He's a black. He's telling them that they're racist, right? Which he's not wrong. And I want to get into New Orleans in a little bit because I have to find that one video that they said the part out loud. But that thing down there looking like a booger snore. A blogger booger look like he old too.
That most of what we say at this microphone doesn't mean much to you all as representatives. You got a vote to make in order to do what you feel you need to do for the governor and your politics. But your state ranks number 50 in the nation because you continue to do these things. We rank number 50 in the economy, number 50 in crime. You can shake your head, Representative. Number 46 in education, number 44 in healthcare, number 48 in infrastructure, number 49 in natural environment. But you got time to take away clerks of court seats. Your priorities are jacked up, and your state continues to lose as a result. But you're proud. You're proud Republicans, proud conservatives. You're Reconstructionist. You're Reconstructionist, and it's racist. And every one of your votes reflect your moral character and the lack thereof. Now, I go to church just like you all. I don't know if we read the same Bible. Do good, seek justice, help the widow, the orphan, the oppressed, and the poor. Isaiah 1:17. Now, you can strip up the Constitution of this state. You can restructure New Orleans all you want, but you're losing even your own voters. Because last year, you lost every constitutional amendment you set out the Capitol. Every one of them.
We'll play. Okay.
In your own districts. And you came back down here again.
So listen, I'm going to play what Alabama said as well. This is all Happy Friday. After this, and then we'll go into the quiet part out loud, and then we'll go back to New Orleans. And about how they have 2 years until they are underwater. Yeah, you heard what I said. 2 years until they are underwater. Yes. What? No. I'm going to find it. Okay, hold on. It's playing something from... Let me go back. Let's go back to Gary.
Playing Jeff's game. Now he wants to be president. And some of y'all won't even be representatives following along with the governor. If you believe in local representation, like I know most of you truly do, you wouldn't be meddling in this local community. But it's a majority black community. And you don't do this anywhere else in the state. which shows it's racist. I don't need data to show me the history of Louisiana. Every legislature that has ever existed in this state has been under majority white control, and you still haven't found a way to get yourselves out of the bottom 10 ranking. Georgia beats you every year.
Oh, I'm
Why?
gonna go look that up.
Because they don't have a problem with black people prospering. The government is a job farm. You all are opening up prisons in rural parishes to create jobs for your constituents and trying to take away Calvin Duncan's job in New Orleans, where he creates jobs for black constituents. The prosperity of this state continues to decline because you lack the vision to lead us forward. This is a waste of the voters' time, and I know you're going to vote the way you want to vote anyway. But I wanted to look you in your faces and tell you this is weak, self-serving, and cowardice, and you're reconstructionists, and history will remember you. Thank you.
All right, we've got 2 red cards left to testify. I'm not accepting it. Mr. Chambers, you want to give your name and your organization?
Somebody was like, you can't just call us names. He was like, did I call you a name, or did I just say, what it is? They felt some type of way. And he didn't do nothing wrong by, saying what he said. That is the truth. And that is the truth. So let me play it. So Senator Cleanpitter, whatever his last name, yeah, he said what he said. He called him a liar. He got upset. Hold on, here you go. Let me show y'all how this happened. And somebody stitched, so we're going to play that.
All men lie. The Bible says that.
Mr. Chairman.
Oh, he ate that man up. He ate that man up so good. I encourage everybody to go back and watch that video, especially our black men. Go back and watch that video, okay? So that you can get some courage about you too. Because that is what we need. We don't need all these YNs around here being dumb, okay? Where are our intelligent black men to stand up? Like, my goodness, that was so good.
Hold on, here it is.
Mr. Chambers, welcome to the committee. Please state your name for the record.
Gary Chambers, representing myself here. I am not surprised by the things that we see happening in our country today, because this is as true to America as it has always been. I was born in 1985. I'm 40 years old. A lot of times when we talk about this history, we like to go back to the 1960s, the 1800s. But when I was born in 1985, there were no black members of Congress from Louisiana. I was 6 years old when Bill Jeffers was sworn into office. I was 7 years old when Cleo Fields was sworn into office. I was 9 years old when they took him out of office. I'm 40 today, and you're still taking things from black people. Anybody who has to cheat to win is a sucker. I'm gonna say it again. Anybody who got to cheat to win is a sucker. And you continue to do this because you don't have a better vision. You don't have a better plan. You are your ancestors' children and grandchildren. Thieves, robbers, liars, consistently. Because you'll go to church on Sunday, tell the Lord you love him. Pray, but you ain't praying out of the same Bible I'm praying out of. Can't be.
Let's
Isaiah 1.
Baby. Did he lie? Okay.
1 and 17.
Are you directing this to us?
I am.
Okay. I'm asking that you don't directly. No. I'm asking that we don't be called names. I'm asking.
I didn't call you a name. What did I call you?
Liars.
Do you lie? All men lie. The Bible says that.
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Carter, briefly.
Mr. Chairman, this is public comment. The First Amendment allows freedom of speech and expression 100% without limitation. Mr. Chambers, put on the record your full comments, and if you see thievery...
People don't read it. Freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is I can say whatever I want as long as I don't harm a person. That is my amendment right. I have the right to say anything. If I want to call somebody a liar, I can. A bad mom, I can. If I want to say they look like something, I can. That is freedom of speech. And it behooves me when you have people sit here and target freedom of speech to others, because that is the First Amendment right. As long as it's not harmful or any lies, that's the First Amendment right. I need everybody on this goddamn red app to take out your phones that you love so much and go look up freedom of speech. That man had every right to call them what he wanted to call them. Did he push him? Did he bully him? No.
I want you to call it out. I want you, if you see something else, I want you to call it out. As your First Amendment protection is going to be protected in this building.
I'm not going to be
go
called
on and
names.
speak.
I'm not going to be called names. All right. And what we will do is stay on the four corners of these bills, the maps. Mr. Chambers.
If you are taking something from black people, which means we have congressional representation, that you, am I going to be allowed to speak? Yes.
Your mic is on.
Okay. If you are taking seats from black people, which we are entitled to by the Constitution of this country, then you are a thief, in my opinion. And I'm entitled to that opinion.
I will not be
and
called
any
a thief.
Senator, if you're offended by it, that's on you, not me.
Right.
Now, if that triggered you, Senator, then you should go to bed tonight. And when you go to bed tonight, talk to your God and ask your God to change your heart, because that's conviction right there. Conviction. That's what it was. It did something in your soul. It made you feel something. And that's what happened when black men show up. When black men with courage, conviction, and righteousness show up, it triggers something in you. And you feel a way about it. So you try to limit us, you try to steal from us, and you think that we don't understand it. Every one of the black men we put up before you stand head and shoulders above every one of you on this committee. And you know it. And it does something in you that makes you feel inferior. So then you come with these white supremacist tactics because you have the numbers, but you don't have the courage. Because if you were really visionary leaders, you'd run against these black men with fair maps and you get your asses whooped. Louisiana is 33% black. 33% black. We deserve, we have earned, we are due 2 congressional seats. Now, if you take them from us, just know there will be a day in this state when we organize, strategize, and mobilize to take something from you. It's coming. And when you lose your House seat because you decided to be Jeff's boy, when you lose your Senate seat because you decided to be Trump's minion.
Look at her back there. Look at that white lady saying, yep, 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 yep. She sit here, they sit here agreeing. Look at all the people agreeing with this man. They are tired. Right.
Remember today. Remember the people that came from your state, that you looked in their faces, that you act like what they said didn't matter to you. Because something somebody said thousands of miles away, who don't really care about any of you on this committee, to be honest. Nobody in that conservative party in DC cares about any of you on this city committee other than the fact that you have the ability to take something away from black people. And if you were anything like what America should be, you'd find some courage. I don't know where y'all get it from, but you'd find some courage. You could talk to some of your black colleagues. They could tell you where the well is. But if you find that courage, history will record you differently. Now, you may not care what history records you as. Bull Connor didn't when he was running either. Neither did George Wallace when he was the governor of Alabama. But 60 years later, nobody thinks George Wallace was a good white man. And nobody will think that you were good white men. They will think that you all.
I want to pause. Over the past year, yes, it's been going on for a year, Texas had people show up and show out where they arrested people. Alabama, they're showing up. Tennessee, they're showing up. Louisiana, they're showing up. And they're fighting. If your voting wasn't, oh, it's not important, they pick who they want to pick. Why would they take away your vote in seats if it wasn't that important? Don't listen to nobody say it's not that important when it's very. We wouldn't have nothing against us if it wasn't. They wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't. I'm going to say it again. They wouldn't do this if they wasn't. See, when we were resting, they felt like, oh, we can do this. We can have the rights to that. They're not going to fight. They're resting. They gave up. Let me tell you something. No, we did not. We did not. We already knew y'all was coming with this. We already knew you said in the 14th Amendment that we as black people are not citizens. That's exactly what y'all said. That's exactly what you meant when you said it. That's exactly what, just like they were doing when I told y'all, hey, pay attention. Look how they getting them out of here. Trying to deport. I say pay attention to how they go ahead and flip it and come to us. I say pay attention to the women that was standing there for him, troping this on. And look what happened to them. They're fired. They're replaced with men. They're replaced with the men. Then he noticed that we were noticing. Want you to pay attention. He gonna get the biggest rapper in the world. Because the industry's starting to hate her. He gotta get somebody. He gonna get somebody that made a great TV show and a documentary that put money in his pocket. He gonna get the one that said that she want a lip gloss named after a STD. Oh, they like Trish. No, we don't. Yeah, pay attention. Woo, let's trope it up. Now, since he used them, and this crazy, and y'all barbs got mad at me when I told y'all don't be no fool. This is what she told y'all to call and do for Save Act. This is what she had y'all do. This is what she was trying to get y'all to do because her so fake, I'm being so of this and that and covering up that she's getting a. This is what she had y'all try to do. This is why the barbs that left fell back. This is why. She's going to get something good out of it. No, because now y'all voting is in trouble. They want to put y'all out of your nice homes. They're already telling y'all that they don't want y'all in their establishments working with your degree. This is what she was telling y'all to call y'all damn Congress people to do. That shit right there. Where is she? Nowhere to be found. She's going through some shit. She don't have the time. Wake up. Take your pink wig off. It was cute. Leave her in her mess. Because this is the same woman who sat here and told y'all to do some shit like this. And now y'all see everybody showing up. Now y'all seeing gas prices, your child care, your degree don't matter. Yes, that was it right there. Take it off. What do you keep supporting for? This is what she told y'all to call. I'll never forget it. If I need to prove it, I want y'all to say that ain't true. I will pull it up to where she was on that goddamn stream on Twitter and she told y'all to call your Congress for the Save Act. They did the Save Act wasn't for no immigrants. They were calling y'all immigrants the whole time. And we're going to get into how Alabama just confirmed it. And I told y'all this last year. Now, who looked like a duck? If it quacks, it's a duck. If it walked like a duck, it's a duck. Because that's exactly what she was doing. I ain't finna sit here and lie to you. I had them talking about, oh, I'm just gonna report you. I can't believe you said. No, that's what the hell she was doing, this shit right here. That girl knew what the hell she was doing.
Were puppets who played a role for a president and got nothing out of it but thievery.
Thank you for your testimony. The board is clear.
Now, let's get into what Alabama said. Because I've been told y'all, when she and I'm going to play it too, she said that. She went down, she got on live and said that. You want to do it for President Trump? Yeah. Now look at this shit. Y'all was the ones trying to follow right behind her. Congratulations.
Need to look at those congressional districts again. Gives us a chance in all of them if we get some reprieve from the courts, and so we'll see how that goes, and certainly hope that the Supreme Court will overturn Amendment 14 and gives us a shot to.
Let me tell you, pause. Let me show you what Amendment 14 is. Pause. And I told y'all, I say, don't listen to that darn lady. She's telling the truth. We hate another couple so bad. They're doing her so wrong. It was never about that shit, but whatever. Let me read it to you. On July 9th, 1868, sorry, not 1918, the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution redefined American citizenship, granted formal and enslaved people, black people, they go try to say, well, it's low income. They didn't know bullshit. It's black people, okay? And prohibited states from denying equal protection or due process of law. In 1868, the slaves was able to vote. The reason why they were voted Republican, because there was no other party for them and they had no choice. So when y'all go back and say, oh, that's what they used to do back then, you had no choice until a certain thing was passed for you to do so, which was the civil rights in 1965. You had no choice. So imagine from 1868 on, there was really no one. And if we really want to go down, all the presidents who were mostly Republicans until the 1960s, we can do that too. Because I'm seeing that y'all are not getting your facts and your history straight, and you're making it cool and making it be this and that because you want to justify your bullshit. Let me explain something. From 1868, what they're not telling you, which is the 14th Amendment that y'all keep missing, from 1868 to the 1960s, that's what they were voting for. They had no choice. I'm going to say it again. In the South, you had no choice. In the South, you had no choice. Let me look up when let me see. When was the first Democratic Party? So, okay, take that back. I'll take it back. 1828, they formed the Democratic Party. We're going to get more into this with the Democratic Party. I want to explain it to y'all a little better because I feel like I'm losing my focus. Andrew Jackson and Martin Van Buren was the early Democrat. Oh, I'm sorry. That's where y'all missed it. Democrat Republican. Oops, my bad. My bad. I'm sorry. I can take that. Thomas Jefferson, Democratic. So it was Democratic Republic. It was never just Democratic alone. And I'm looking that up right now. Democratic Republican. Let's see why was slaves voted. So let's get this clear. We're going to get more into that tomorrow. I want to get more into that tomorrow. So I'm reading on there. It started Democrat Republicans. Yeah, it wasn't just Democrats. It was Democrat Republican. But now that I'm typing in my information and educating myself a little more. So the reason why blacks was voted, slaves were voting that because they needed to pass the reconstruction of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. The GOP was formed to stop the spread of slavery, seen as barbarism, and had threatened free labor. The Republican-led government under Abraham Lincoln, so it changed in the 1960s because they couldn't get what they needed from the Republican Party. I said that before. So that's where the change came from. Let's see. So the blacks mostly voted Republican after Civil War to get what they wanted and early in a part of the 20th century, right? I want to know, when did they stop? So it was said that the Democrat Party didn't welcome blacks then, and it wasn't until 1924. Now the evolution of Roosevelt in 1932 marked the beginning of a change. He got 71% of the black vote for president in 1936 and did nearly that well in the next two elections. According to historical figures, we're going to get more into this tomorrow. And why there's a reason why blacks do Democrat. After that, it has been Democrat ever since. So there's a reason why. And I want to look at his I want to look at Roosevelt history of that. But let's go back to this. Because for him to get more blacks, I want to look at what his policy was in order for him to get that. Because if he ain't got that many votes and started that, I want to go into it tomorrow. Because that, I might go into it today. We might go into it today. I'm going to circle back. You know what? No, we'll keep it going and then we'll go to Louisiana about everything else. But let's keep it going. I think I'm going to go into it today. How that happened. Why did he get more votes? Why? So it established birthright citizenship, incorporated the Bills of Rights against the state governments, and abolished one person. That man just sat there in Alabama and said, "We not citizens. I don't care how you shape it, rub it down."
What would you say from your perspective? I mean, other than Mr. Pro Tem, everyone was relatively silent on the goings on. What would you say from your perspective is the biggest misconception about what the bills do? And
I know I was going all around the world.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the biggest misconception is, the thing about it is, people tend to forget what happened when this thing went to court before. We actually, the Republican Party had that seat in, I guess, in Mobile, number 2 seat, that's the congressional seat 2. So the district 2. And so that was one of the things, there's been a push through the courts to try to overtake some of these red state seats. And that's certainly what happened in that one. And with the ruling that happened in Louisiana, we felt like it gave us a chance to maybe regain that seat, but also opened up District 7. So I think that's happened. All we need now is the courts to overturn 14 and we can look at a new election. The thing is, if we did nothing was going to happen. And I applaud the governor for calling us back in and give us a chance to revisit that and look at it. And what happened here in Montgomery and that Senate seat probably should never happen to begin with. And so, of course, I'm at the point that probably none of it should happen to begin with. We got 3 branches of government. It's our job to legislate, to draw those district lines, and for the court to interfere with that. And to be honest with you, I thought it was a slap in our face, because we'd spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in reapportionment drawing those maps. And they let an 18-year-old kid from the university, or I don't know how old he was, maybe 19, send the map in, and they took it without a consideration for what we had done. And, the way that the system is set up, that's the job of the legislative body. And I think,
instead of him mumbling and trying to speak under code, stand on what you're saying. You speaking a little low for me. Instead of mumbling under code, you're speaking a little low for me.
we've done it in an appropriate way, and it's disappointing that they didn't follow that rule. Well, certainly.
to the U.S. Constitution grants it to all persons born or naturalized in the United States, including former slavery and guaranteed equal protection and due process under law. It prohibits states from abridging privileges or immunities of citizens and bar those who engage in insurrection from holding office as well. Basically saying we could take your seat. That's what they just said. Let me play this young black queen over here. I do too. If they implemented the terms, and that's another thing. You know, people don't understand that the Republicans didn't want him in office. Some did, some didn't. And he got more respect till this day. Let me play this. I want to thoroughly give a great explanation, better than what I gave, and I can wholeheartedly say that. I'm not ashamed of that.
Roosevelt, and I want to continue that conversation. I want to continue to answer the question that articles have been asking, which is Teddy Roosevelt a racist? The answer is yes. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Yesterday, we talked about him being a believer in eugenics and his belief that blacks were inferior. That alone says he was a racist. Yeah. Let's discuss his belief about Native Americans. It wasn't a good opinion. How he treated them, it wasn't well. And then my own personal opinion that I would like to share. Because this series is killing me. So Teddy Roosevelt, there's a reason why they took his statue out of, I think it was a museum in New York. Yeah, there was a museum of him. I can't remember if he was standing or if he was on a horse. And then there was a black man and a Native American at his feet. I don't even know who came up with that statute, but they need to be smacked in the face. Yeah. And whoever approved it, smack them in the face too.
It's hilarious.
A pox on them, their children, and their ancestors and their future generation. Yeah. Anyways, he had a very well-developed and racist view towards Native Americans and blacks. He regarded Native Americans as SAVAGES. No, I'm not going to say it. Not in reference to Native Americans. Okay, so yeah. He respected them. He respected them as warriors, but he completely expected them to fall in comparison to what he felt was a superior race, the white man, right? He felt that all other races were inferior in comparison to white people. When he was writing about being at war with Native Americans, he wrote that the most righteous of all wars is a war with SAVAGESs, though it is apt to be also the most terrible and inhuman. A sad and evil feature of such warfare is that whites, the representatives of civilization, speedily sink almost to the level of the barbarous foes. Sinking to the levels of the barbarous foes. That's what he thought of Native Americans. He favored the removal of Native Americans from their ancestral territories, including approximately 86 million acres of tribal land. He transferred that land to the National Forest System. And I'll tell you what, Parks and Service loved them some Teddy Roosevelt because he preserved the land. He preserved the land. Do you know what? He took approximately 86 million acres of tribal land from Native Americans to preserve the land. He stole the land to preserve it. Weren't they preserving the land? Because I feel like they were. I feel like they were doing a good job all by themselves.
Right.
But what do I know? Okay. Anyways, where was I? See, would you?
Let's see if we can get other people.
Love to be the first people in comment section saying, oh, black people this and black people that. And y'all never ask the question why we needed certain things to begin with. Like, let's start there. Well, now things will be more equal because, you know, the Voting Rights Act and this and that. You never asked why we got the Voting Rights Act to begin with. You clearly didn't learn about people getting their skulls smashed. Literally, John Lewis, getting their skulls cracked, fractured, just for the right to vote. You don't know about the bodies that are in the Mississippi right now of people.
Sure is in that water. Sure is in that water. That creek, everybody was like, don't get in, don't go in there. Don't get your body in there. Don't go in.
People who were trying to register people to vote. You don't know how people used to have to hide and sneak around and hide from your bigoted relatives to try to vote. You didn't learn about those tests that people had to take to figure out how many bubbles are in a bar of soap or how many jelly beans are in a jar so they could be able to vote. You didn't learn about that. And so now you just come on here with your ignorant self, having no idea about your own history, because it's not Black history. This is the history of what y'all did to Black people. But this is not our history. This is yours. So you don't even know about your own history and what y'all did to people who just wanted to exercise their right to vote. And then you dare call the dismantling of things that people literally died for a step towards equality. Meanwhile, half of y'all aren't smart enough to even be intellectually curious as to why these efforts had to be put in place to begin with, why we needed an HBCU.
Yep.
Why we needed diversity.
I heard that too. I was shocked. I heard when growing up, you know, because my grandparents were born in the 30s, where there was like, you know, there were certain times we couldn't walk nowhere. There was certain things you could not do. It was like they were walking on eggshells because they would be strange fruit in the morning and go missing. You had to drink out of separate water fountains, eat at separate restaurants. Imagine living like that for so long and getting tired to where you just sit at a restaurant. That's how tired they was. I remember that. Some families had to make money to pick cotton out of a field or strawberries or whatever just to make ends meet, to feed their family, run cattle. Yeah. Make sure hopefully you get a good sleeping at night, because they will come in hoods to tear up your house or put crosses burning in front of your house, drag you out in the middle of the night before dawn, and have you be strange fruit in the morning and found beaten, tortured. Don't have a baby with a white person. That baby is a goner.
The equity and inclusion. What was the point of having critical race theory? What is the point of all of these things? The things that y'all complain about in our comment sections, as if it's a form of discrimination against you. All it shows is a sheer lack of intellectual curiosity, that you won't even take the time to say, I wonder why they needed this to begin with. Because that will be too self-reflective. You don't want to see that mirror. You don't want to see what you look like in your own reflection. And so you project all of the bigotry and the hatred and the racism that's festering within you onto other people. Mind you, my people just wanted to be treated as human beings. We had a whole movement called the Civil Rights Movement to be treated civilly. We haven't even gotten to equality. We're asking to be treated civilly, and y'all are still failing at it. Still failing. So I don't want to hear anybody come into my comment section talking about, oh, things are going to be equal now. No, they're not. They're going to be even worse. And you know it. You know it. You're just not intellectually curious enough to even do the cursory research to learn your own history as to why. Most people don't realize this, but for most of American history, there was no rule limiting how long
I should have played her first and played the other
a
lady.
president could serve. No term limits, no caps, just tradition. And the only person to ever fully test that tradition was Franklin D. Roosevelt. FDR didn't serve 2 terms. He didn't serve 3. He served 4.
Yeah.
Not full, but I'll explain that later. From 1933 to 1945. That's 12 years through the Great Depression and most of World War II. And the reason he could do that was simple. It wasn't illegal. Before Roosevelt, presidents followed George Washington's example and stepped down after 2 terms. Not because the Constitution required it, but because custom did. FDR broke the custom, and people let him, and that part matters. Because this wasn't a power grab. He was elected again, and again, and again. At a time when a country facing economic collapse and global war, voters chose continuity over tradition, stability over precedent. Now, here's the part that people usually miss. FDR died in office, and only after his death did Congress decide that this was a problem. That's when the country ratified the 22nd Amendment in 1951. That amendment limits the president to 2 terms, not because Roosevelt broke the law, but because he proved how much power continuity could concentrate. In other words, the rule exists because one man showed what was possible without it. And there's something else worth sitting with. For nearly 160 years of U.S. history, the presidency had no formal term limit. The safeguard wasn't law, it was just expectation, trust, if you will. And once that trust was tested, the Constitution changed. So when people talk about norms holding democracy together, this is what they mean. Norms work until they don't. And once they break, rules show up to clean up the mess. So when you hear 2 terms spoken like it's sacred, just remember, that's not how the presidency started. It's how it adapted. Because one president stayed long enough to make a country nervous. And then the Constitution adjusted accordingly. Most people don't realize this, but for most of American history, there was no rule limiting how long a president could serve. No term limits, no caps, just tradition. And the only person to ever fully test that tradition was...
Okay, hold on. Let me stop sharing. Let me play this one. It's a little formative of Roosevelt. But then we're finna go to Louisiana.
And recreation. The right of every farmer to raise and sell his products at a return which will give him and his family a decent living. The right of every businessman.
So he passed a second Bill of Rights for all Americans, black, white, whatever your race. But he passed away before he could implement it, but it was also implemented. Now, a lot of people are saying that both parties work for capitalists. True. But here is the thing, and I want y'all to understand, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, you get a little more with this than you do with the other ones. You get a little more than you do with the other ones. The other ones, they want to do capitalize off of it, worry about their pockets. Democrats work for the people. The reason why, and what I'm taking from this is what I think, okay? I know I was wrong about Roosevelt a little bit. Listen, I wasn't born then. I'm still learning, and I want to go deep dive into it because I want us to get a better understanding. That's what this channel is for, okay? I'm learning just as well as you on some things. Yeah, that's why he wants a 3rd term. That's who he's looking for. If you look at some of the stuff that he wants, he's implementing things from different presidents. And he's trying to do it and try to say, see, I did it better. That's what he's doing. A child play. That's what he does. Child play. This is what I think. I feel like we got a little more. We got listened to. And then it made way for Black people to work up to get to that spot. A lot of people say, oh, well, you're being welfare to the system. Let me make something clear. Black women had families. Vietnam had families who was working. Let's think about it. This was the 60s and 70s. It's totally different from what it is today, right? Most of those women were married. There were 2-parent households. Most of the men and children had to go fight in the service in Vietnam. If you see how long Vietnam lasts, that's why they were on welfare. They wasn't on welfare because they couldn't make it. They wasn't on. That's when welfare really started. The Black Panthers say, well, I think it's fair because the women now have to go out and work while the men are fighting a war. And I'm gonna see if I can find that. And that's how that started. They weren't getting what the white women. Now, for to be honest, they were getting that stuff. They were getting that stuff. They wasn't getting that. We'll get into that.
Large and small, to trade in an atmosphere of freedom, freedom from unfair competition and domination by monopolies at home or abroad. The right of every family to a decent home, the right to adequate medical care, and the opportunity to achieve and enjoy good health. The right to adequate protection from the economic fears of old age, sickness, accident, and unemployment. The right to a good education. All of these rights
every American has the right to a job, an adequate wage, and decent living, a decent home. This is why some of the Black people loved him. They weren't allowed to have a decent home, which they're trying to take. All of y'all that stay in them suburbs, they're trying to take y'all out the suburbs. The good jobs that y'all had, where everybody be like, we're trying to find them, they're snatching them away. He made that to where you can have them good jobs. He made it to where you can have medical care. He made it for economic protection for every American citizen, including Black people. They did not have that. But he couldn't implement it because he passed away. Power to the people. Power to the people. And there were bills of right where you get your education. And let me tell y'all something. Do y'all know some people who had a choice to feed their family? You either work in a cotton and not get your education. Why y'all think y'all hearing people that was born in the 60s and 70s? Yeah, I went to school. Yeah, I got an education. My grandfather was one of the men who made sure all my aunties, including my mother and my uncle, had an education. They were going to finish school because it was things that they couldn't do. You had a choice. My grandfather worked 3 jobs. All of my family members hold a degree. All of my family members hold a degree or they've been in the service. I hear stories about my aunties having a choice to go to school. And if they go to school, they had to go pick strawberries before they go to school to put food on the table. My grandfather came in, paid for them to have an education. That man worked 3 jobs because he felt like the children that he took care of that were Black deserved an education. My bad, deserved to be something because it was a choice. He fought to have an education. My great-grandmother fought for them to have an education. You had a choice. You didn't get to choose. Or like now, you have to go to school. You have to have those things. All my aunties, business owners, nurses, they have an education. My entire family had to fight to have an education. So it's more deep than just that. All of them graduated and walked across the stage. And he made sure that, because there was no sense of that, the education was very, very important. You have to learn math because when you hear, if you learn math, if you learn to read and write, it's taken for granted. You have to learn those things. You have to learn to count money. It's important because of those situations. And I don't think y'all know how important that is. It's trying to snatch away. To hear Florida say they would rather than work in a strawberry field than to go to school is crazy to me. That is crazy to me because that is exactly what it was. My great-great-grandmother was one of the first Black women in a racist town to own a boutique sewing clothes, coming from New York. That's why it's so important. It's not just, it's that important. Everybody think, oh, well, you want to have multiple children. There are some women that do, but there are some women that saying no because it's not just because of the welfare, it's because you don't have the finances to do it. And then you have the women who are doing it and have to do it because these men create broken. And the history that we have in this country is crazy to me. We've been through so much. I never thought, because I was told in the way that it was showed to me that it wasn't like that, because growing up, we're like, it's not like that. We don't see that. It's a little better. But no, it's really that your children have to result back to their great-grandparents because of poor choices, a check that is nowhere, null and void. It is hard. We are already there. Listening to so many women say they're without a job. Listening to so many people say, I don't know where my next meal for my child gonna come from. I don't know. We're there. And they're trying to beat us down further. Like, I don't know what else. All this men and women bullshit war that we keep hearing, Black men versus Black women, I think we got to stop. At some point, Black men, y'all need to stop and realize exactly where we're at, because you're going to be a problem. I think y'all need to go look at how things were. To the few less Black men out there, to the majority, I mean, there's some good Black men, but the majority of the ones that's keeping, you need to pay attention.
System made Black families the face of welfare. Initially, Social Security excluded jobs held by many Black workers. That meant many Black families couldn't access Social Security benefits. White widows left welfare and accessed survivors' benefits through Social Security. Black families were pushed toward state aid where access was restricted. As barriers eased, more Black families were concentrated in that system. Social Security became associated with white families. Welfare became associated with Black families. The system made Black families the face of welfare.
So when I heard someone say, welfare was for my people, it's deserved to us, they wasn't talking about them. And then we can get into the fatherless homes.
Did you know the U.S. government once penalized Black families for having fathers in the home? And the effects are still felt today. During the 1960s and 70s, public assistance programs such as welfare and housing included what was called the man in the house rule. Under this rule, a woman could not receive government assistance if a man, even the father of her children, was living in a home. This forced thousands of Black families into a heartbreaking choice: stay together and struggle financially, or separate so the mother and the children could receive benefits. For many Black fathers, this meant, one, being...
Now, I want you to understand something. We just watched a video where a white man was in a home and his wife would still receive benefits. But look at how the black man is in the home and he has to leave. Black men weren't getting much. Black men couldn't have jobs. I'm going to play another video. It was very, very hard.
Forced out of their own homes. 2, struggling with unemployment due to discrimination. And 3, watching their families suffer economically despite their best efforts. Even though the rule was eventually struck down, the damage was already done. It contributed to generational poverty. Instead of building black wealth, black families had to survive on unstable government aids. It contributed to fatherless households. This policy incentivized single-parent homes, leading to a rise in a father absence. And then 3, mass incarceration. As economic opportunities shrank for black men, many were funneled into the prison system. How does it still affect us today? Well, black families still face economic
You know what, long hair? I remember my granddaddy told me that, and my grandma. You got to bring that C up. I used to think, well, see, at least I'm trying. No, you have to bring that C up. And still to this day, my son get a C, and it's so crazy. My son get a C. My son is not happy. My son start crying. My son would cry, and I'm like, why are you crying? Just bring it up. That's not. He tell me still this. He say, I remember when he got his first C. I think it was like 2nd or 3rd grade. He said that's not enough. I said okay. I say, well, we can do better. He said okay, and that's where we went from there.
Disadvantages due to lost generational wealth. The stereotype of the absent black father was largely created by policies like this, not by choice. In reality, black fathers are among the most involved parents when present. Government policies still shape black wealth and family structures, making it critical to understand history and advocate for our economic empowerment. Well, what's the solution? We got to build our own economic power. We got to practice collective economics, invest in circulating our dollars within the community. We got to have more financial literacy, teaching wealth building strategies and dependency. And we need to have real estate ownership to secure land and assets for our future generations. We must reclaim our financial independence and rewrite our family legacy. The past does not define us, but understanding it helps us shape a better future. Now stay woke, wealthy, outstanding, knowledgeable, and empowered, and let's continue to build. Now drop a black fist in the comments and share with others who need to know this Black history fact.
This why we say to the red pill men, like when they be like, oh, that it's a patriarchy mindset, and they get mad when we say that. This is why, because it's like y'all don't know y'all history and y'all blame the women, but there's a reason for that. And that's where we're at now. If they don't want to pay attention to it, there are most black men in this job that do not have jobs. They do not. And the women have to take on. Now it's targeting the women. Yeah. They have to take on. Even if they get something, you know, but yeah.
You're going to control them boys. I bet you're telling them right now. You all be nice to Mr. Marshall. Yeah?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Go, man. Go. Yeah, but she got a lot of needs, man. Needs. She got to feed all them kids.
Oh, she got the welfare number. And she got a job. No, she doing okay.
Yeah, she only gets the welfare if she stays alone, man. You know, she taking a big chance on you, Ruth. The welfare people going to find out, then you going to be the man. The welfare man.
Mom, the social worker's here. Oh, shit.
This is with Diane Carroll. This is when she first came out, and she said she had to dig deep into this character because it was the truth. If you had a man stay with you that was on welfare and you were on welfare, that was the only way you can get something. You see, he's a trash man. She had to do what she had to do. You'll never hear the story from another race. So you would be penalized for being in a 2-parent household home.
Honey, get rid of the TV and hide.
let me straighten you out on something, Mr. X. There was a time we'd ask to use a bathroom to see if there was a razor in the cabinet. We don't do that anymore, but we do have to know what's going on. Do you live here or elsewhere? Is that a gift you're giving to the family? Do you contribute to the support of this whole family?
Whoa, lady. You gonna tell us you can have this set? It didn't cost you in the city a damn dime, but you gonna tell us you can have it, right?
Oh, I didn't make the rules, sir. I'm only doing my job.
The welfare ain't doing nothing for me, lady.
But the welfare is supporting Mrs. Price.
Supporting? Supporting shit. He gave me this. He gave me this. Yes, he gave it to me. Then he gave me this. Now we have to hide this shit. Do you believe? Yes, he gave me this. We have to hide this.
He gave us this too, but it don't work.
That's right. Now I have to hide my man in the toilet. Miss Quebec, do you hide your man in the toilet?
Mrs. Price, we want to help, believe me. We know that children need a man in the house, a woman needs a man in the house. We don't insist people be married.
Do you mean you'd help a man move in who's not married to the mother?
That's right.
That's immoral.
We're trying to deal with the realities.
What kind of example is that to set for the children?
Oh, what kind of example are you setting right now?
I ain't the government.
We'd love to see you get married.
They love to see you get married. This is the same thing they're doing now. Let's go to 1970.
Perry Homes was planned on a minimum budget. There are few places for children to play. Because of the same kind of planning, Perry Homes has no doctor, no dentist, no pharmacy. Nearby, there is a well baby clinic, but no sick baby clinic. And the sick must travel 12 miles to wait for attention at Grady Memorial Hospital. And partly because of the general rule that welfare is cut off if there is a man in the house, fathers are often driven away so that mother and children can eat.
85% of the head of household is a woman, because most of the men who should be in the household, they cannot make a decent living. And of course, it is better to know that a child will be fed 12 months out of the year than 3 months, which you do in the summer when construction work, you can make a decent living.
The man in the house rule was written to prevent welfare cheating, to make sure that aid to families with dependent children would go only to families headed by mothers. But the effect of the man in the house rule is to create for children an atmosphere of investigation and surveillance. And thus, the welfare system in its operation turns out to be a system to make life harder for children. Perry Homes was planned on a minimum budget. There are few places for children to play. Because of the same kind of planning, Perry Homes...
See? Let's go to Louisiana. So Louisiana about to be under New Orleans about to be underwater. Now, you know they already above sea level. And I'm a little confused with this situation because they've had this happen before with that was a genocide, but I don't know. And now they're trying to do this whole thing with not in Louisiana doing it with not just where you live to vote, but they're pushing you out of certain areas to vote, to live. And this is kind of like, is this another thing again? Let me play this because I'm a little concerned.
Good morning, beautiful people. It's Monday morning. Hope you got your gym workout in. I know I did. That's why I'm just leaving the gym. You see the sweat. I really did hit the gym.
And somebody said Corpus Christi is running out of water.
Little upper body day, little quad day. But let's check this out, man. So this is the city of New Orleans. So people think I'm lying about what the city is. It's below sea level ever since 21 years ago when that Category 5 devastated and caused a mass genocide of our people. This is the current state. This is the river, 16 feet. It's height with a predictable storm surge. This is probably if it has another hurricane. This is the city of New Orleans. Do you see how high that sea level sits and how low New Orleans sits? You see it. You see how low New Orleans sits and how above that sea sits. Mississippi River, Gulf of Mexico, whatever you want to do it. Look how Look how below it sits. It takes it telling you. They get another one of these, it's off the map. But check this out as well. This is just a flood risk of New Orleans. This is a flood risk. That same picture that I showed.
It is below sea level. Yeah, it is. It sure is. And you know what's so crazy? That I'll just be thinking about it. Okay, so because I drive through and that bridge, Lord Jesus. So I want to know that bridge is covered, surrounding water. Y'all know what bridge I'm talking about before you hit New Orleans. My question is, did I say above, below sea level? I'm sorry if I did say above. I don't forgot. My question is, if it's gonna do that, all that water with them alligators and sharks, alligator and sharks together, that bridge we drive across, y'all know what bridge I'm talking about. Okay? Because we drive through there to get to here. We have to go around. Question. Okay? What the hell? That's a lot of water. And that's the bridge he's showing y'all right there. That long ass bridge. Lord have mercy. There was a music video a long time ago in the early 2000s. I don't know. It was a group. I never forget this video. And he was on top of a building like that. Yeah. Everything I need to know. Exactly. And the building was big as that. I forgot. It's not a rock commentary. It's kind of like a rock commentary band. I forgot it, but it's like pop rock around that time. Y'all know back in the early 2000s, late 90s, it was a thing. And he was standing on a building just like that, and it showed the water up to like the top of that building. He was overlooking nothing but water. And there were people that perished underwater. The way that the water came in and took over. I'll never forget that video. And I've been thinking about that video, I don't know why, for the past couple of months. And it's crazy to me. This shit is real. And guess what? Let me tell y'all something else. I ain't never seen that group again. And they probably released something else. They used to be like cartoon all the time. And it was like a cartoon music video. I never seen that group again.
Told you in the previous slide, this is what happens. Now look at all from minor to catastrophic.
Hey.
This is, the minor one is here. I'm sorry, the minor one is the red. The catastrophic is that. That's above. Most of it kind of sits below sea level. Most of it sits above it. But 9 times out of 10, we all know New Orleans sits below the sea level. But then, if you know, this came out years ago about a certain doomsday map that will look like in the United States if something with water happens. Check it out. Do y'all remember this picture?
Yeah.
This came out years ago. Oh, a TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only. You know, I'm just an actor. This is a script.
You have California, Louisiana right there full of water. Doomsday, yeah. Going up to Michigan, certain areas in Michigan, California got certain, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, Oregon, wow, Colorado, wow. Half of Florida, Miami. You don't even see the islands anymore. Right? They gumbo is so good. I want me some more. I wonder when, like,
I memorized my scripts. Let me take that foremost. Do y'all see the West Coast? All that's underwater.
Yeah.
Most of the East Coast is land, mountains, parts of Florida, a little bit of Florida, but look at the coastal region of Texas, which is probably Houston, Corpus Christi, But look at Louisiana.
Yeah.
Look at parts of Arkansas. Look at that. All that is underwater.
Mm-hmm.
But people in New Orleans say I'm lying. I don't know what I'm talking about, right? I don't know what I'm talking about. This is the map that's gonna look like in a minute. Most of the West Coast is underwater, and New Orleans underwater. Mm-hmm. Good morning, beautiful people.
They talked about this in global warming years ago, and nobody took it seriously. The temperatures have been off lately, if anybody paid attention.
And let me tell y'all something. If New Orleans disappears underwater, so will I.
Listen, let me tell you something. They like to party. Them people from up north like coming to New Orleans for a good time. I mean, look at it. Listen, ain't nobody with it. Oh yeah, that's part of that goddamn bridge. Yeah. So I don't know if it. Look at that. Lord have mercy.
Orleans is gonna be done for.
It's not over there.
10 to 20 years.
Yeah. You can see that bridge.
This is crazy. I don't even want to go.
I think it's further down on the other side. But y'all know that bridge. You ride through, and that man. Listen. Yeah. All the cities.
Hey, chat, have y'all read this article they did on New Orleans called To the Point of No Return? Where they basically urging all 360,000 residents of New Orleans to evacuate due to the sea level rising rapidly and shit like that. Now, basically, they stated that before the end of the 21st century, New Orleans is going to be underwater. Now, chat, I ain't going to get on this bitch bapping like everybody should leave, everybody should run, evacuate, pack, panic. I ain't gonna do none of that shit. I ain't gonna lie. I'm sure all my New Orleans people already know what come with living in that area. You know what I'm saying? So P gang chat, shit's so steep, right? Look, they said ain't no debating about whether this will happen or not. That shit out the window. The only debate should be when it's gonna happen, folks. And they said when it happened, which it will, on Film Grade, it's gonna be a little island, and y'all gonna be surrounded by the Gulf of Mexico. This shit sound crazy. Now, we ain't gonna sit right here and act like, you get what I'm saying, though, everybody just got the funds to wake up one morning and lead a state. You get what I'm saying? And based on how cultural New Orleans is, it's people that, if they had the funds, they still wouldn't leave. They so fucking New Orleans. Come on, man. We finna live on this island, though. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments, man. Drop a comment, man. Drop a like. Shut us. Hey, chat, have y'all read this article they did on New Orleans called To the Point of No Return? Where they basically urging all 360,000
Okay. So the whole Louisiana, as we saw on that, basically you got Baton Rouge, because I drove through there on the way to come where I'm at now, and it's all filled with water. It's all filled with water. Mississippi, filled with water. Yes, filled with water. So now, yeah, I mean, now this is what this girl said they taught her in school. And now she realizing it's true.
Basically let us know that New Orleans is about to be a lost city of Atlantis. If you know, you know. You gotta be you have to have gone to school out there before Katrina happened. And before Katrina hit, they already had gave us a heads up low key. Mind you, during around that time frame also, they used to go, there was a field trip on a daily that we used to go to Lake Pontchartrain.
I was told about this in high school, and how it is. All them islands, like I say, was covered up. You could see the Bahamas. You couldn't see the Bahamas. Miami is closer to the islands, and we had a conversation that Miami would probably be because it's below sea level. Yes, Miami is another one, as he showed on the map. But New Orleans, absolutely. I was told that because it's so much water. I was told that in high school. My history teacher was talking about it. He taught history, but he still had us learn. You know, we had conversations. Shout out to Mr. Gordon. And shout out to my middle school teacher, Mr. Glover, because we used to have conversations too. And, you know, just have a time where we talk about it, you know, for quite a little bit, you know, and even my in science in middle school, I think her name is Mrs. Warren. Shout out to her. Yeah. We were talking about it. We had a good conversation about it. And it was like it'll be in 50 years. So I don't know if some things have changed. Like that's not 50 years ago. Maybe global warming has made it. But now that we know what that was, what, 20 going on 20 years ago? 20 years ago. That basically they didn't have long to be underwater. I don't know how old this lady is. But yeah, I was told that and after Hurricane Katrina we had conversations about it. Mm-hmm.
There was like this experiment, in a way that we wound up was like doing with the pollution and within the water, trying to clean, like, you know what I mean. Also to help with the 1/4 of the football mass that we was losing, because it's like 1/4 of the football field of what we was losing, hence why we was below sea level. We're what is that, different schools was basically coming out there and was taking like tree branches, anything that was like mush or marsh, so we can help build those masses back up. And that was like almost leading up right before Katrina, and after that day I haven't heard anything about them like picking it back up and like encouraging to rebuild the mass. That's what the only thing I've heard about is just like I haven't heard anything. I haven't even heard anything about the levees. Also in school, they was also talking about this levee that was supposed to be like this dam that was supposed to be, and it was like shaped like this. How I'm picturing it, because it was also a vivid black and white little excerpt of like a little movie clip. And it basically, I cannot think of where it's at, but apparently it's so damn good. I think it's either Alabama. I can't recall. But it's so good. Apparently it would have prevented Katrina had we had the funds and the money to do it in a time frame to do it. It would have prevented Katrina and so many more hurricanes to come. Due to the fact that we're below sea level, we don't have the money to do it. Obviously, we have the time, but we don't really take it serious.
Yep.
So, and hence why they say we won't make it to another century. We already knew that because our literature books was already expressing it and our teachers was already expressing it to us. I feel like we just weren't taking it serious. And just now, we just see we about to be a lost city of Atlantis because that's what they told us we was technically going to be. So when we were in our literature books reading about lost city of Atlantis, technically New Orleans was an example of that because we was going to be that. Like building up. We're building up to it. I kid you not. So I was like, okay, so I'm about to be Little Mermaid at sea. At the end of the day, it's him at that age when I was like small and whatnot, right? But it just goes to show how years later, how they saying that they have to relocate the city and this and that. It was already hard relocating a lot as it is. Hence why I didn't move back, because I don't like to lose it all, and I'm not about to lose it all.
So my question is, where they going to relocate the city? This is their second time relocating their people. So I have a question: where are they relocating them at? Are they going to build it more higher up? Like, what's the plan? I want to know what the plan is, because that needs to be a budget instead of keeping money in their pocket during this time. I think they need to start worrying about it, because that needs to be a budget to be set. Like, how can they relocate it? Are they going to build it more upward? Like, what is the plan?
And rebuild and rebuild and I'm not doing all that relocating. So that's why I stay where I am at, and I'd rather go back and visit. But look like I gotta get what we gotta get, and all I want to know is where we moving in.
Right.
Where we moving to? Because I just feel like y'all gonna have to move the whole Louisiana as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
It's just let us stay together. That's how I feel like. I will move back. Okay, as long as we ain't gotta fight the sea levels. And mind you,
California gonna have to rebuild. Most of them states are trying to rebuild, and they have to figure out like how they're gonna do this before all of this happen. Because that's the thing, you're gonna have to rebuild everything.
they don't even offer insurance. So hence why FEMA had to take like step into place. So it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot, man. I love my city down. I love born and bred from New Orleans, but it's just unfortunate how
we love y'all too. We love y'all too. We do.
Mother Earth like has us at this point in the show code. But yeah. I already knew that we were supposed to be lost to the Atlantis and how we have like days to come. I wonder if y'all remember that. Who else is from New Orleans and remember that? I think I was going to Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin is where I was going to at the of that time frame, and also Hoffman. Those were the main two field trips that I know for a fact that took us there. And we did those experiments. Also, I take that back. Also, when I went and transferred to Alexandria, Louisiana, AJH, they also had something similar as well, going out there to Lake Poncha training and whatnot, trying to help with the pollution of the water, which was pretty cool. Even though I loved when it was hands-on. Take me back to being hands-on of learning. That's how I learned. I'm still that person. I'm more so a hands-on person than anything. If I rather my work be done than your work. I'm just gonna be honest with you, because my heart is in the right place. Thing you don't know how willingly I want to pour it. So I miss those days. I do. I miss those days of building the marsh back up and whatnot. I think it was awesome. It was definitely fun. It was times that we don't have now. But yeah, our literature. When I was going to school, they basically let us know that New Orleans.
All right, y'all. That's it. I'm finna end it. I'll be back. But yeah. We'll tomorrow we'll go over governors in your state of who to vote for in November. I did have a list. I'm gonna have to find that list again. When to vote, because it is coming up. It does matter. I don't care. Don't let nobody tell you it don't matter. It does. It does, y'all. It does. They would never try to snatch it up if it didn't. Right. I'm glad you hit too. But we will talk about it tomorrow. And y'all know I'll be back if anything else, but we're talking about it tomorrow. We're gonna go into who to vote for, have your stuff together. The policies. And I'm seeing a lot of shout out to the red people now. A lot of majority, not a lot, some of them, not all of them. We can say however, like, yeah, Republicans are like, listen, I understand where you're coming from. Great for you, but I don't abide by that. I like to have my family eat. I like to have where it's for everybody. We've been playing this game a little too long. We gotta, all of this is too much. I can't have that, because it's not just affecting everybody, it's affecting us too. And there are some Republicans that do feel that way, and I applaud them for saying, yeah, no, thank you. 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 Mm-mm. I'm not going to go through that. So I'll be back tomorrow with this. We're going to break down governor. I'm going to look more into the black vote from Republican. I mean, I think we did. It's self-explanatory, but I'm going to get more into it because I want to know for myself. So when I come on here and I can speak it correctly, I don't want to sound all over the place. But I do want us to get more into that educational wise. And we're going to talk about the governors and who to vote for and who's running. Like I told y'all, Florida, if you a fool not to have y'all answers there in November and understand that Byron is not your friend, I don't know what to tell you. You just going to keep struggling to pay penny, even for you're going to keep struggling. I'm just being honest. And they keep saying why we can't be like Georgia, because y'all don't have y'all got to fight. Georgia fought. Y'all got to fight for real. Y'all got to fight for real. Y'all can't be just, no, because it sounds good. That's one thing Georgia have, especially Atlanta. It sound good. No, it got to sound right. So I'm going to end it here. I want to thank you guys for watching. Florida, if you in Florida, be here. I don't care where you from. Be here. Be here. Hit that like button. Be here. Come in. Sit down. Pay attention. Shout out to Virginia. And thank you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see y'all later. Bye, y'all.